She walked into school with hope in her heart and lesson plans in her bag, but within hours, she was lying at the bottom of a staircase, pushed by her own students. No one expected what came next. 3 principals arrived the same day and shut down the entire school. If you love your mom and dad, hit that subscribe button right now and show some love to her. Rebecca Miles was the kind of teacher every student needed, but rarely got. At just 28, she had left her comfortable position at a private academy to take a job at Crestwood High, a public school notorious for student violence, weak administration, and a failing academic reputation. She believed that everyone deserved a chance to change, even troubled teenagers. Growing up as a foster child, Rebecca knew what it meant to feel overlooked. On her first day, she entered the rundown halls with determination, ignoring the graffiti on the lockers and the mocking whispers from students. She taught English with passion, using real-life lessons to inspire students. But her optimism slowly caught the attention of a group of notorious bullies, 3 students known for terrorizing classmates and staff. Their leader, Tyler Grant, was a senior who repeated his final year due to disciplinary issues. His father was a wealthy donor to the school board, which made Tyler feel untouchable. Alongside him were Ethan and Marcus, often referred to as his shadow followers. Rebecca didn't treat them like monsters as other teachers did. Instead, she challenged them to participate in class, asking them to write about their dreams. Tyler scoffed, saying he didn't need some fresh graduate teacher telling him about life. But Rebecca only replied, "It's not about where you start, it's about where you decide to go." Her words unsettled him more than insults ever did. That afternoon, Tyler overheard Rebecca speaking to a counselor in the hallway, saying she was planning to file a report on students who had been bullying others, unaware that Tyler was mentioned in that report. Furious at the idea of being exposed, he and his friends decided to scare her before she could act. School ended, and most teachers had already left. Rebecca was walking down the back staircase carrying a stack of student essays when Tyler and his friends confronted her. They blocked her path, mocking her. Witnesses later said she remained calm and told them, "If you put this much energy into changing your future, you'd be unstoppable." That only made Tyler angrier. He stepped forward and gave her a hard push. She stumbled backward, tumbling down the hard staircase, her body hitting several steps before she landed unconscious at the bottom. Students nearby screamed. Some pulled out their phones. Others froze in shock. Ethan and Marcus ran, terrified, but Tyler stood motionless, realizing too late what he'd done. The principal, Mr. Anderson, was known for downplaying issues to maintain a clean public image. When he arrived, instead of calling 911 immediately, he demanded devices be turned over to erase footage and tried to move Rebecca before medical help arrived. A janitor named Maria, who had seen the entire incident from a distance, intervened, dialing emergency services and shouting, "You're going to get her killed!" Paramedics arrived and rushed Rebecca to the hospital in critical condition with multiple fractures and internal bleeding. The school tried to cover it up as an accidental fall, but Maria secretly emailed the footage she had recorded to the school district superintendent. Within hours, news of the incident spread. The next morning, something unprecedented occurred. 3 high-ranking district principals, Principal Heather Stern from North Valley High, Dr. Colin Burke from South Central Academy, and Superintendent Principal Dr. Avery Collins arrived at Crestwood High unannounced. They stormed into the school board meeting and demanded immediate action. Rumors flew through the halls that the entire school might be shut down. Students gathered in the corridors, terrified. Teachers cried in their classrooms, fearing for their jobs but broken by guilt. Dr. Collins called an emergency assembly. The gym was packed with students, staff, and police officers. He played the video of Tyler pushing Rebecca down the stairs for all to see. A wave of shock swept through the crowd. Tyler's friends buried their faces in shame. Tyler broke down in tears, realizing his actions had gone far beyond intimidation. Dr. Collins then announced the suspension of all administrative staff who had attempted the cover-up, including Principal Anderson. He declared Crestwood High temporarily closed until a full safety restructure was completed, and all students involved in violent behavior would be expelled and face juvenile charges. Tyler, Ethan, and Marcus were handcuffed in front of the entire school. Watching Tyler cry and beg to call his parents didn't bring comfort. It only showed how far consequences. Meanwhile, Rebecca fought for her life in the hospital. Doctors said the first 48 hours were critical. Out of sorrow and guilt, students held a candlelight vigil outside the hospital. Many who had been bullied by Tyler came forward with their stories. National media covered the event, calling Rebecca the teacher who tried to change the broken. Donations poured in to support her recovery. Days passed. Then, to everyone's relief, she woke up. Though physically weak and in immense pain, her first words were, "How are my students?" The nurse hold. Weeks later, Crestwood High reopened under new leadership. Principal Heather Stern took over with a strict zero-tolerance policy for bullying. Security systems were upgraded and every staff member underwent specialized training. Rebecca returned using a cane, greeted by applause, cheers, and tears from hundreds gathered outside. The once fearful students now saw her as a hero. During a reintroduction assembly, she stood before the entire school and said, "Some believe strength is about power over others, but real strength is about lifting others up, even when you've been pushed down." Tyler, serving a sentence in a youth detention center, watched her speech from his facility. He later wrote her a letter apologizing and acknowledging how his anger came from being neglected and misunderstood. Rebecca replied, "Healing starts when truth is faced. I hope you learn to build rather than destroy." Her message became widely shared across school platforms nationwide. Months later, Crestwood High transformed from one of the worst schools to a model for reform. A plaque was installed at the bottom of the staircase where the incident happened, reading, "Here stood someone who believed in change. May we all learn from those who rise despite the fall." Rebecca went on to train teachers on handling troubled youth and prevention of school violence. She became a voice of change, not just for her school, but for schools across the country. And that fall down the stairs? It didn't break her. It became the moment that rebuilt an entire system.